Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to break down something that looks way harder than it actually is: how to say the date in Spanish. And I promise by the end of this, you are going to be doing it with total confidence. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the one big difference. Then we'll build a totally foolproof formula. After that, we'll cover the one and only exception. Then we'll put it all into practice before we wrap everything up with a handy little toolkit. You ready? Let's do this.
All right, first things first, we're diving into what I like to call the Spanish date flip. This is honestly the biggest single difference between English and Spanish dates. But don't you worry, it's way simpler than it sounds. Once you get this one idea I'm telling you, everything else just clicks into place.
Okay, look at this. This is the secret right here. In English, we say the month first, right? March 3rd. Well, in Spanish, you just flip it. You start with the day. So it becomes literally the 3 of March, el 3 de marzo. Just burn this into your brain, day before month. Seriously, getting this flip down means you're already halfway there.
And here's the best part. This is where Spanish actually makes things easier for us. You can forget all about those tricky words like 3rd, 4th, or 22nd. You just use the normal numbers you already know: 3, 4, 22. It's a huge shortcut, and it gets rid of a super common mistake for learners. Okay, so we know we have to flip the day and the month. Now let's put it all together and build our new date formula. Think of this as the unbreakable rule you'll use for almost every single date. Let's break it down. It's really just 4 little building blocks. You always start with L, which means the. Then you add the number of the day. You follow that with de, which means of, and you just finish with the month. That's it. It just works every single time. And here it is, all laid out for you. That's the core formula. Now, that first word L is super important. You might be wondering, why L? Well, it's because in Spanish, numbers are treated as masculine nouns, so we always use the masculine word for the, which is L. So let's try a real example. How about September 10th? Okay, first step, we flip it. So we're thinking the 10 of September. Now we just plug that into our formula. El 10 de septiembre. See? It works like a charm. So, believe it or not, you've now got the formula for about 99% of all dates. But, there's always got to be one small exception, right? The good news is this is the only tricky part, and it only ever applies to the very first day of the month. Yep, that's the question. What happens on day 1? We don't say el uno or the 1. This is where that one special little rule comes into play. I want you to meet your new friend, primero. This word means first, and this is the only time, I'm serious, the only time you'll use a word like this for a date. It is exclusively for day 1. For every other day, you use the regular numbers, but for the first, you always use primero. So for a date like January 1st, we don't say el uno de enero. We have to use our special exception and say the 1st of January, el primero de enero. Just remember, this is the only time you'll ever have to break that main formula. Okay, we've got our main rule, and we've got our one exception. Now, the absolute best way to make this stuff stick is to just put it into practice. So, let's run through a few more real-life examples to make this feel completely automatic. Let's try April 22nd. First thing we do, flip it. The 22 of April. In Spanish, that's el 22 de abril. Easy enough, right? How about July 28th? Same deal. Flip it to the 28th of July, which becomes el 28 de julio. See? You're already getting the hang of this. This little table here just sums up those 2 key shifts perfectly. In English, we do month, then day, and we use those ordinal numbers like 3rd. In Spanish, it's the total opposite. Day, then month, and you use the simple cardinal numbers like 3. Okay, to wrap things up, let's pull everything we've just learned into your final toolkit. These are the key takeaways that are going to help you practice and make this new skill a permanent part of your Spanish vocabulary. All right, here it is, your cheat sheet. The most important things to remember are right here. Number 1, always stick to the formula. El plus the number, they, then the month. 2, just remember, primero is your one and only exception for the first day. And 3, use your normal numbers, not the fancy ordinal ones. And here's a fantastic little trick to make this all second nature. Every morning when you wake up, just ask yourself out loud,
what day is today, and then try to answer with the full date in Spanish. This simple daily habit will make the formula feel totally natural in no time at all. All right, your turn. It's time to apply what you learned. Think about your own birthday for a second. Using the formula and the rules we've covered, how would you say it in Spanish? Go on, give it a shot. You've totally got this.